All right, let's put on our detective hats for a minute and solve a classic business mystery. You've seen it before, right? In the exact same industry, with the same customers, one company is just absolutely crushing it, while another is barely hanging on. Well, the clues are all there, if you just know where to look. I mean, it's the question that keeps so many people up at night. Is it just pure luck, some random flash of genius, or is there actually a blueprint for winning? Well, that's what we're here to find out. We're going to investigate the hidden clues that separate the true winners from everyone else. So, where do we even start our investigation? Well, forget the stock market for a second. Forget the headlines. The real scene of the crime, or in this case, the scene of the success, is inside the company itself. By really digging into its operations, its resources, and its structure, we can uncover the evidence that explains what makes for a truly killer competitive advantage. Okay, so the first tool in our detective kit is a classic for a reason, the good old SWOT analysis. I want you to think of this as our initial survey of the scene. It helps us get all our facts organized and, crucially, separate what's happening inside the company from the big wide world outside. So yeah, SWOT is our first framework for just sorting through all the clues. And it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Really, you can think of it as the essential bridge between what a company is and the world it has to compete in. You simply can't win without understanding both sides of that coin. Now, what's so cool about this is the clear dividing line it creates. See, on the left, you've got your internal clues, the stuff the company can actually control, like its brand power or its technology. And then on the right, you have the external situation, things it just has to react to, like a hot new market or a surprise competitor. A winning strategy always starts by knowing what you can change versus what you've got to adapt to. Okay, so we've got our high-level view from the SWOT. Now it's time to follow the trail of evidence. Our next tool, the value chain, lets us do exactly that. We're going to trace the precise path a company takes to turn a pile of raw stuff into something a customer is actually excited to pay for. This idea comes from the strategist Michael Porter, and it reveals something so important. A company isn't just one big blob. It's really a sequence of separate activities. And every single link in this chain is a new chance to outperform your rivals and build a real, lasting advantage. So these 5 primary activities, this is the main storyline. First, you get your raw materials in the door. Then, you turn them into an actual product. After that, you've got to get that product to your customer, convince them to buy it, and finally, you support them after they've made the purchase. Every single one of these steps is a chance to be better than the competition. But, that main story can't happen without a really strong supporting cast. These support activities, things like finance, HR, and tech, they're the foundation that allows all the primary stuff to run smoothly and effectively. And honestly, this is often where the deepest, most hidden advantages are hiding. So here's the whole point of this. Analyzing that value chain helps us answer one key question. Does this company win by being cheaper or by being different? Are they just masters of efficiency, finding a way to get a cost advantage? Or are they creating something so unique and so valuable that people are willing to pay more for it? All right, so we've started to identify the company's strengths. But here's the thing. Are they just minor talents, or are they actual superpowers? To find the company's true secret weapon, we need our next tool, the VRIO framework. And this gets us to a really important idea in strategy. The most powerful advantages don't usually come from the market. They come from a company's unique internal resources. VRIO is the test we use to find out if a strength is just kind of nice to have or if it's truly game-changing. First question we ask, value. Does this resource actually help you compete? Does it help you win? If not, honestly, it's just dead weight. Okay, next up, rarity. It's great that your resource is valuable, but if every single one of your competitors has it too, then you're just at a level playing field. There's no edge there. Third, and listen, this is the big one, imitatability. Can your competitors just copy it? Because if they can, your advantage has a very, very short shelf life. The real power is in a strength that is super hard to replicate. And finally, organization. You can have the most incredible resource in the world, but if your company isn't actually set up to use it properly, it's totally worthless. And this right here illustrates the whole process perfectly. Just follow the logic. If a resource fails that valuable test, it's actually a disadvantage. If it's valuable but not rare, you've just got parity. You're just keeping up. If it's valuable and rare but super easy to imitate, well, you've got a temporary advantage, but it won't last. It's only when a resource passes all four tests, valuable, rare, imitatable, and the organization is ready to rock, only then do you get a true, sustained competitive advantage. Okay. We've gathered the clues, we've analyzed the activities, and we've stress-tested the strengths. Now it's time to bring all the evidence together for a final verdict on the company's internal health. And for that, we use something called the Internal Factor Evaluation, or IFE, matrix. Now, I know it sounds a little complex, but it's really just a logical, five-step process. You list out the most important strengths and weaknesses you found. Then, you weigh how important each of those is for success in that specific industry. Then, you rate how well the company's actually doing on each one. You multiply the weight by the rating, add it all up, and you get one single powerful number. So let's see this in action. A strong brand reputation gets a top performance rating of 4, which is great. But look at the efficient supply chain, it gets a heavier weight, a 0.20, maybe because in this particular industry, logistics are the most important thing for success. Each factor gets calculated and then contributes to that final score that kind of tells the whole story in one glance. And after all of that analysis, after all that digging, the final verdict comes down to this one number, 2.78. And believe me, this isn't just a random figure. It's the result of our entire internal investigation, a neat summary of the company's deepest strengths and weaknesses. So what does 2.78 actually mean? Well, the magic number here is 2.5. Anything above that benchmark tells you that a company is in a really strong internal position. Basically, its strengths are more than powerful enough to overcome its weaknesses. Our company, it passes the test. Internally, this company is built to win. And there you have it. We've cracked the case on how to analyze a company from the inside out. From a broad SWOT analysis all the way down to a specific IFE score, you now have the detective's toolkit. So now it's your turn to apply it. So, I want you to think about a company you really, truly admire. Now that you have these tools, can you identify its real secret weapon? Not the obvious product everyone talks about, but the valuable, rare, and hard-to-copy advantage that truly sets it apart from everyone else. The answer is almost never what you see on the surface. It's usually hidden deep, deep inside.